That was the Northampton High School Band, led by Director Kirsten Becker. Very nice job. Thank you. To deliver the invocation today, having made his way here all the way from St. Mary's Church, the Reverend Dr. Leo J. Hoare.
Please be seated. Let us pray. With God as a loving mother and father, we gather together today with jubilation, anticipation, and loving kindness for our newly inaugurated mayor, Mary Claire Higgins. Lord, Claire Higgins brings to the office of mayor her hallmark, human compassion. Over the years, she has been an ardent spokesperson for justice. She has a vision for the city that includes multiculturalism, diversity, and inclusivity. It is no surprise that the first inaugural event, outside of today's ceremony and tonight's reception, is the Northampton Community Celebration 2000, honoring the new millennium and all of our newly elected public officials, which is open to the entire community of Northampton free of charge. Claire, how sweet thou art to gather all of us together to direct our vision toward hope and healing. Mayor Higgins, you have the desire, energy, and intellect to develop Northampton into a futuristic community, utilizing local, regional, state, and federal resources. You have the understanding and interest to rebuild parts of Northampton with an architectural design based upon sensitivity. You have a great gift of life that enables you to be conscious of people's needs for shelter from the storm and a cot to rest their weary head from winter's cold. We thank you, Claire, for the many personal sacrifices that you make for our community. We sense your compassion, keen awareness, and enjoyment in being one of us as you walk through the streets of our community. Lord, we also need to express our profound gratitude and sincere appreciation to Mary Ford. Mary has led this community as our mayor for 8 years with wisdom, courage, and understanding. Through her loving efforts, Northampton has become the most exciting city in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the envy of the Valley, with a vibrant downtown, vital neighborhoods, and indeed, a very prosperous community. Claire, your leadership has offered many people new strength and security, a sense of joy and healing, freedom to grow, the ability to dream new dreams, and above all, reverence for the work of people who make Northampton a very caring community. We thank you for your commitment to excellence, your compassionate heart, your decisive leadership style, and your strength in tirelessly working long hours in planting seeds for a new age. We thank you for already having created a sacred passage, redefining the challenges of the political process and inviting us to raise the standard in service to humanity. In a former age, we were known as Paradise City, the Garden of Eden, where everything was kept in balance. In a future age, may we continue to be known as a community that gives birth to new and exciting possibilities and that values all people as one family, excluding no one. Lord, as the clock has already initiated a new millennium, may we all become co-architects for a new kind of political leadership, a leadership rooted in values, moral decisions, and spiritual sensitivity. Northampton has been blessed with a leader today with strength and caring, who enjoys life and laughter, who fears not the pain of being human, who listens with an open mind and a trusting heart, and who speaks from an inner core of reflective solitude. And so to you and your Irish heritage, Claire, an Irish blessing as you begin your service as our mayor. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we all meet again, may God hold you and all of us in the palm of God's hand. Lord, we thank you for the gift you have given the city of Northampton in the person of Mary Claire Higgins, your daughter and our friend forevermore. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Hoare, for those wonderful and inspirational words. Well done. The next, by the way, my name is Mike Goggins, and I was asked by my friend Claire to serve as Master of Ceremonies today for this event, and I was thrilled to get that call, and I'm thrilled to be here to perform this function. I guess there's been a tradition of judges, which I am, a judge of the district court here, to do this, and I think the last one to do it was Judge Morris. Prior to that, Bertha Josephson. I know that Judge Ryan has performed this task, and Judge Dunphy, and I don't, who's here today, by the way, and I don't certainly pretend to be in their class, but I'm very pleased to be here to perform this task today. This is really a community celebration, and we're all happy to be here, and I can tell that you were all very excited by the outstanding greeting that we received as we made our way down towards the stage. So this is going to be a great day with a lot of fun ahead, and thank you all for being a part of it. There are some formalities we must first attend to, and among those, and the first of those will be that I'm going to go ahead and administer the oath of office to someone who's become pretty much a landmark quietly in her own way in the city government over the years, and that would be our city clerk, Christine Skorupski. Raise your right hand.
I, Christine Skorupski,
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
as city clerk of the city of Northampton, according to the best of my abilities and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth, the Charter and ordinances and rules of the city of Northampton. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And at this time, we're going to have the city clerk perform the task of beginning to administer the oath to other officials, beginning with the Honorable Mayor Mary Claire Higgins.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Claire Higgins,
Do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of
to the
Massachusetts
Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Mary Claire Higgins,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as mayor of the city of
as
Northampton
mayor of the city of Northampton,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
and laws of the
and
Commonwealth,
laws of the Commonwealth,
the Charter, ordinances,
the Charter, ordinances,
and rules of the city of
and
Northampton.
rules of the city of Northampton.
So help me
So
God.
help me God.
I state your name.
I, Mary Claire Higgins,
Do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, wasn't that nice?
They'll get their checks.
Next, Chris Krupski is going to continue on now, and she's going to next administer the oath of office to our city treasurer, Helen Maruzik.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Helen Maruzik,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as city treasurer of the city of Northampton,
as city treasurer of the city of Northampton,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
and laws of the Commonwealth,
and laws of the Commonwealth,
the Charter, ordinances,
the Charter, ordinances,
and rules of the city of Northampton.
and rules of the city of Northampton.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Helen.
And following along in your program, no doubt, you've noticed that next is the administration of the office, oath of office to our city solicitor, Attorney Janet Shepard.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Janet M. Shepard,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as city solicitor of the city of Northampton,
as city solicitor of the city of Northampton,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
and the laws of the Commonwealth,
and the laws of the Commonwealth,
the Charter, ordinances,
the Charter, ordinances,
and rules of the city of Northampton.
and rules of the city of Northampton.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, while we're on a roll, we're going to move right into the administration of the oath of office of the City Council. And what I'm going to do is read the name and the ward of each of you and ask you to, whoa, got to have water. Ask you to rise as I do that. City Council, Councilor at Large, Michael Bardsley. Councilor at Large, James Dostal. Ward 1, Bill Dwight. Ward 2, Francis Volkman. Ward 3, Maria Tomasco. Ward 4, Rita Blyman. Ward 5, Alex Giesland. Ward 6, Marianne Labarge. And last but not least, we welcome back to city government the Mayor of Leeds, Ish Labarge, Ward 7.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office to which I have been elected in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth, the Charter, ordinances, and rules of the City of Northampton, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Now, in similar fashion, we're going to proceed to the administration of the oath of office to the school committee members, and I'm going to ask the following who are being sworn in. There are some here who are already on board and need not be sworn in, but those the following will please rise. At large, Karen Bercovici. At large, Larry Fink. Ward 2, Ann Courtney. I think Ward 4 is still at work, isn't he? Is Francesco here? I'm looking at... Oh, Lucy. Lucy Hartney. My apologies. I guess I will wear these. Ward 6, Lisa Minnick.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Karen Bercovici,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully and impartially
to faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected
in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
the Charter, ordinances, and rules of the City of Northampton,
the Charter, ordinances, and rules of the City of Northampton,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Next, the administration of the oath of office to the trustees of the Smith School. David Bourbeau. And Susan Ruthier. You want to do them together? Okay. Okay. And in the interest of saving some time here for Claire to speak as long as she wants, we're going to fold in here the officials of Forbes Library. Steve Callahan. And Ed Shanahan. Is he here?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office to which I have been elected in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth, the Charter, ordinances, and rules of the City of Northampton, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Now we'll move along to the oath of office, administration of the oath of office to the counselors to the Hampshire Council of Governments, Dave Stevens and Joe Wilhelm.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office to which I have been elected in accordance with the Constitution of the Commonwealth, the Charter, ordinances, and rules of the City of Northampton to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
An event like this requires the assistance of an awful lot of people to pull it off. And there was an inaugural committee that was put together that was, I think, one of Mayor Higgins' boldest strokes to date was pulling this group together, because it's a great group. They've done a great job. And so far, this thing is going off like a Swiss watch. And I do want to then thank co-chairs and that committee as follows: Susan DeMaria, Linda Desmond, Lois Arenz, Barbara Black, Eileen Cahill, Johanne Hoyt, Jenny Fleming Eyes, Denise Goggins, Mary Casper, Christine Skorupski, Susan Kohler-Gray, Ray Labarge, Mary Ann Labarge, Phil O'Donoghue, Jeanette Rodriguez, and Diane Welter. And we are now, at this point, fortunate to have with us and taking part in this event today, and we're thrilled to hear a musical selection will be delivered to you by the Young at Heart Chorus with Bob Silman directing.
Well, good afternoon. As this gentleman told you, we're the Young at Heart Chorus, ages 68 to 95. And we're absolutely thrilled to be part of this wonderful, auspicious occasion. And soon to be Mayor Higgins, we have just a few minor demands.
Times a day do I think of you?
How many roses are sprinkled with dew?
How far I travel to be where you are. How far is the journey from here to the star? And if I ever lost you, how much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky?
Hey, wouldn't it be great if we had all the seniors free drugs, prescription drugs? How about that, hon?
wonderful.
And how about discounts for seniors in all the downtown stores according to our age? Mine would be 73%. How about you?
How many times a day do I think of you?
Oh, how many roses are sprinkled with dew.
And if I ever lost you, how much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky?
Gene Hatch, Elaine Fligman. It's important to note that the two women making all the demands were from Amherst and Chicopee.
But we voted for Mary.
That's right. And we're gonna leave you with one by Dylan. What would an inauguration be without Dylan? And yeah, right. And we dedicate this to the fabulous Mary Claire Higgins and all the newly elected officials, but also to those who have served us so well, and especially to Mayor Mary for her wonderful 8 years of service.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you.
May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young.
May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you.
May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young.
May your hands be always busy. May your feet be always swift. May you build a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift.
May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay
Thank you. Thank you. Ed Wise on piano, Chris Haynes on accordion, Paul Lieberman on sax, Mary Melita on violin. Thank you. Good. Congratulations, everyone.
Now those people know how to bring something to the party. Tough act to follow. Great job. At this point in time, I want to take a second and just acknowledge a few people who are here today on this occasion of this wonderful event. And on stage, in fact, we have here today Senator Stan Rosenberg. Stan? We also have a representative from the office of United States Senator John Kerry. And I know it's always, typically kind of a downer when the elected person can't make it and they send in his place a staff person. And that, in fact, is the case today. But I must say, in Mike's defense, it is really nice to see Mike Vito back in town. Mike, would you stand? Also on stage, we have the Majority Leader of the House of Representatives and one of Northampton's greatest natural resources, Bill Nagel. And we are also very pleased to have Congressman Neal, who took time from his busy schedule to be with us here today, the former mayor of Springfield and our congressman from the 2nd Congressional District, Richard Neal, is here and would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Judge, for that nice introduction, and thank you all for the pleasant invitation that you've extended to me today. Father Hoare and Rabbi Grobart, Your Honor, Mayor Higgins, Majority Leader Nagel, Senator Rosenberg, and members of the City Council and members of the School Committee, and members of the community that we call Northampton. It's a delight to be with you, but for just a couple of seconds to offer a couple of reflections on this, a great day of renewal and an extraordinary day in the life of our new mayor. And also to acknowledge what I think was a very great relationship that I had over 8 years with Mary Ford, a professional and a friend in every sense of the term, and I'm very grateful for it. I know something about the mayor's office. 16 years ago, I was inaugurated as mayor of the city of Springfield, and it's a job with certainly great ups and downs, oftentimes in the same day. But it's also hugely rewarding and psychologically quite gratifying. But I recall that on a Saturday morning in the mayor's office, I was sitting doing some paperwork and the phone rang, and I answered the phone, and a lady said to me, and this is true, a lady said to me, she said, well, she said, on Friday, the trash truck missed my trash. So I thought, well, what the heck? I ought to be able to do something about that as leading citizen of the community. So I called Bondi's Island. And I said to the fellow, hello, I said, this is the mayor. And he said, so am I, and hung up. There are going to be great moments of humor that you're going to have along the way, Claire, and I hope you'll have a chance to pause and retain those as well. On this a day of, again, renewal and inauguration, it's important to take a look at the future, but it's also important to acknowledge something that is very critical to American democracy. An inauguration is the ratification of an election. The ratification of an election. And Mary Claire Higgins' vision was the one that was accepted by the voters of Northampton. You cannot understate the importance of that notion. It is her vision of the future that you have accepted. And that means in partnership with her, you have to work. There are going to be highs and lows. There's going to be great moments for her. There's going to be moments of enormous frustration. And if nothing else, Mary, you're going to learn the very fine distinction between the words fair and favorable. Because so many people will say to you, you're not treating me fairly, when what they really mean is you're not treating me favorably. Because one of the hardest parts of the mayor's job is to say no. But it's also one of the most responsible parts of the mayor's job. You will never have a job in politics that will be more gratifying than the job of being mayor. It's a chance to put your vision in front of people and to act upon it, not just to talk about it as though it were esoteric. You can really do something in that job. This is an electric city. It's a wonderful city. The enthusiasm that was here today that I've witnessed alone is, I think, substantial evidence of the goodwill that you feel toward your new mayor and the members of the local government. And I'm going to close on this note. There has not been a period of time that I recall when politics was more contentious in American life, when even in Washington we trivialize differences, because we've come to believe that if our view doesn't prevail, then we can't let the other view prevail. And so many times when we look for that commonality of purpose, it falls by the wayside of partisanship. The difficulty for the mayor is this, as Fiorello LaGuardia said better than anybody else, there really is no Democratic or Republican way to pick up the trash. That's the task before a mayor. As much as they're going to give us that vision, they also have to pay great attention to basic services. I want to tell you something. There is nowhere else that I would have been today but right here offering this simple message. Congratulations, Mary, and best wishes from the United States of America.
Thank you very much, Congressman. One of the traditions that occurs at this event is the introduction of the past mayors who have served the community over the years, who are able to appear with us. And that, I guess traditionally what happens there is, the fact of the matter is, a lot of them tend, for one reason or the other, not to show up. But today we actually have a couple here, and I tell you, we're very glad to have both of them. First, I want to note the presence of former Mayor Sean Dunphy. Now listen to this. This is the 30th anniversary of his inauguration as our mayor. He's now the Chief Justice of the Probate Court from Commonwealth of Massachusetts, former Mayor Sean Dunphy. And joining the ranks of former mayors effective today is our friend Mayor Ford. As has been said in so many ways here today, she's done such a special job for the community over the 8 years that she served. She's taken us to greater and greater heights. We do wish her all the best. She's going to now turn her attention to herself in terms of where she goes next. I'm sure it's going to be someplace suitable and someplace where she'll be serving her fellow man in some productive way. Although you never know with these things. Things do pop up that you don't expect. And today I learned just in fact that there's an opening. The Patriots job is available as of today. So there's a glass ceiling that hasn't been broken yet, right? Mayor Ford. Now we are at the point where in just a moment or two we're going to have the opportunity to hear from our new mayor, and I must say that I feel very privileged to have the opportunity to introduce her. What can you say about Claire Higgins? She's been a great public servant and a model citizen in this community for a long, long time. She's an outstanding communicator and has mastered what I call the lost art of listening. She's possessed of a keen and sharp mind with an incredible capacity for creative ideas and problem solving. She's been a proven consensus builder. She's great with kids. She even quit smoking. She's done it all. And one of the things I do love the most about Claire is her sense of humor, and she does have a great sense of humor, which is an important and necessary gift, I think, in the service of government, and it'll serve her well and has in the past, and it will in the future. We also know that Claire will be serious about her work and her various tasks, but we know that in the process of that, she'll do so without, in the process, ever taking herself too seriously, and that's important as well. I once heard a son eulogize his father, who had been a Superior Court judge over in the Berkshires, by saying that his father had maintained his perspective, in part by observing the creed, "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice." Well, we certainly know that Claire has that concept down to a T, and because on top of everything else, she's just a wonderfully squared away, humble person with a great sense of perspective. As we all know by now, Claire's community efforts over the years are well documented and represent a truly impressive range of experiences and accomplishments. She's been a 3-term member of the City Council, serving this past term as president of that body. While on the council, she served as chair of the Fire Committee and has, among other things, helped to guide that critical city department through its recent transition to an outstanding new facility. She has served as the chairperson of the Housing Partnership and has certainly already left her mark on issues related to affordable housing in this community, a theme which I am sure she will continue to aggressively pursue as mayor. And she has served for several years as head of the Citizen Advisory Committee for the reuse of the Northampton State Hospital properties, a project with possibly unparalleled significance to the question of how we will shape our community in this new millennium. And these are just a few of the accomplishments that she's been able to bring to this community. This background of meaningful and substantive work for Northampton clearly represents a solid foundation for great success in her journey as our mayor. No doubt right about now she feels a butterfly or two, both about the job and about the speech she has to give here in a minute. Which reminds me, I should tell you, by the way, that if you happen to notice during the course of Claire's remarks that she seems to be rushing through them, what's going on there, well, you see, it's the outfit. It's a rental and she's got to get it back by 5:30. I had to. But in any event, as time moves on here, let me just say, all kidding aside, as I do close, as a community, we've observed Claire's efforts and accomplishments over the years. But we've also noted and admired the integrity, civility, dignity, and honor that she brought to her work on the council and to the way she conducted herself during last fall's successful campaign. And Northampton has spoken on this issue. And on this issue, what Northampton has said, loud and clear, across every nook and cranny of every precinct and ward, is, Claire, you are completely ready for this. You have our total confidence, and we're extremely proud to have you to lead us forward as we confront both the challenge and the promise of all that lies ahead. I'm proud to give you Mayor Claire Higgins.
Well, if I believed everything that's been said about me today, I should just die and go to heaven right now. Huh? I want to have a speech to give here. It's a little long, and I'll try to be brief, because I do have to get the suit back. So, Judge Goggins, Chris Skrupski, Congressman Neal, Senator Rosenberg, Representative Nagel, Mayor Ford, Mayor Dunphy, members of the City Council, members of the School Committee, trustees of Smith Voc, and all the city officials, Reverend Hoare, Rabbi Grobar, and fellow citizens of Northampton, family and friends. This is a wonderful day. It's a celebration of our city and its government. I know I speak for all the other elected officials when I express our gratitude to the people of Northampton for allowing us the joy of participating in this celebration and the honor of serving you for the next 2 years. I'd like to say a special word of gratitude to some very significant people. And before I thank these people, I'd like to thank the band and the Young and Heart Chorus for the wonderful job they've done today. I'd like to thank the inaugural committee chaired by Linda Desmond and Susan DeMaria, with the enthusiastic assistance of Ray Labarge and Mary Ann Labarge and Diane Welter, among others, who adopted the protocol of the ceremony to avoid the obstacles created by the renovation of the high school and the need for many citizens to be available this morning to go to work and stamp out Y2K bugs. This committee's willingness to be creative, to choose this lovely and historic building, and to include an informal potluck of all Northampton's families later this week reflects the type of inclusive, inventive spirit that makes Northampton such a wonderful place to live. I learned many of my political skills over the dinner table when I was a young girl. You can't grow up in a large Irish Catholic family and not learn how to listen to others, to speak your mind, and remember that when you might differ today, you must respect the opinions of others, because after all, dinner will come again tomorrow night. And I'm delighted to be able to share this day with my family. My mother Liz, my brother John, Becky, my sister Becky, Andrew, Michael, and Mia. And I'd like to honor my father and my brother Dan, who are not here. I knew that would be the hard part of the speech, so that's done now. And Mia, if you know, I might be the mayor, but if you got a parking ticket, you're on your own, pal. I'd also like to recognize, that was good. I'd also like to recognize Joanne Hoyt, my campaign treasurer, and thank her for her support and friendship over the last 32 years. Oh, that's good, Mary. Thank you. See that? Rank has its privileges, I guess. Each of us builds on the foundation of our predecessors. I'm proud to say that my predecessor is Mary Ford, and that Northampton's a better city and we are a better community because Mary Ford was our mayor. On behalf of all the people of Northampton, Mary and Michael Ford, thank you for your boundless energy, your dedication, and your love for Northampton. Today is a celebration of our electoral process, a process that calls on thousands of citizens from all parts of our city, white and black, Latino and Asian, rich and poor, Jew and Gentile, gay and straight, old and young, longtime resident and newcomer, to give voice to our future. We vote as many individuals, but we live as one community. We bring to the polls our differing opinions, our diverse backgrounds, our various experiences, and when the day is done, we've given direction to our city. And we prove again that the common interests that unite us as a community outweigh those that may divide us as individual citizens. When I moved to Northampton 22 years ago, I felt welcomed in my new home, from the beauty of the mountains to the safety of our streets, to the incredible arts community, to the vibrant business districts. It became clear to me that Northampton was something special. I'm proud to live in Northampton, and I'm honored to be your mayor. During my campaign, I promised solutions for how we can address some of the problems we face as a community. These problems range from working to strengthen our schools, to stimulating economic growth by attracting new businesses, to preserving affordable housing, and to ensuring public safety. Because I meant when I said during the campaign about the need to work together as a community to solve these problems, I spent a lot of time listening during the campaign. Over the coming weeks and months, working with you in the City Council and the trustees of Smith Folk and the school committee, I hope to continue the conversation we began during the campaign. But today, as we begin, allow me to speak for a few words about what I hope will be the soul of my administration, the spirit I hope I can bring to City Hall, and the respect I expect will be given to all citizens. These are not new ideas, they're not foreign to city government or its employees, but I think it's important to reiterate them today. I believe in government as a vehicle to solve common problems which we as individuals cannot solve alone. And I believe in public service because I believe that the energy we bring to our efforts is of benefit to all of us. But I also know that government is big and often interaction with it can be confusing and stressful. Compassion, therefore, is an essential part of the character I hope that each of us in city government will bring to our jobs each day. We do this by respecting the institutions and the people we serve, by being thoughtful and understanding, by going out of our way with a follow-up call to a concerned citizen or extending a helping hand to an elderly resident. So in this administration, that kind of compassion counts. In city government, we have an outstanding workforce comprised of dedicated men and women who believe in public service. I want to work with them to ensure that we all look forward to coming to work, to enjoying our jobs, to doing the little extra things that bring us the respect we want from others. Oftentimes, the rule book and the policy manual are impediments to that kind of excellence. Today, I issue an invitation to all citizens and city employees to use my office as a sounding board and as a springboard for improving the performance of government by reforming the rules and regulations and the ordinances by which we operate. City employees and citizens have already begun offering me their suggestions to build a better city. I want to encourage everyone to continue to use the mayor's office as their suggestion box. And I want city employees to feel proud of their work, and I encourage them to take a measure of ownership in what they do. We see that pride in the work of our fire department at the scene of a fire or in the schools on graduation day. I want our government to renew its belief that public service is something special every day. And when a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, or a DPW employee do something special, I hope to know about it, and I want the public to know about it too. These elements form a foundation for our government. They reflect the fact that government has a soul, compassion, a dedication to excellence, a sense of pride and ownership, and a spirit of public service. They provide us with the basis in which we can aggressively and productively meet the challenges we face. For my part, let me state that while I am deeply honored to be our mayor, I do not interpret the election results as a 2-year sentence to sit on the second floor of City Hall and run things. I intend to get out of City Hall as much as possible and attend community meetings, to listen, to learn, and to work together with people of goodwill to discuss problems we face and develop solutions. I mentioned earlier that what unites us is greater than that which divides us, and that we are a successful community because we do work together to find solutions that benefit us all. As far as I know, there's not a Bay State agenda for solving our landfill dilemma. There's not, to my knowledge, a senior citizen agenda for increased economic development. There's not a downtown business agenda for open space acquisition. There's not, to my knowledge, a gay and lesbian agenda for improving downtown parking. Rather, there's a Northampton agenda of issues and concerns that we need to face as a community. I've spent my professional career working with and for children. Early childhood education and our public schools are the great equalizer of American life. A good education system is the shortest distance between where we are and where we dream our society can be. I look forward to working with the teachers, the parents, and the school committee and the trustees of Smith Folk and the school administrations to continue to build on the excellent system that we have. Well, I support every reform in Massachusetts because for too long, communities did not or could not provide their children with an equal educational opportunity, and the value of a high school diploma varied from community to community. I urge caution to this community and the media in drawing conclusions slowly from MCAS scores they see over the next few years. The MCAS tests The MCAS test measures a defined area of learning. The test doesn't measure a student's curiosity or persistence, their open-mindedness, or their ability to work as a member of a team. These and other skills are necessary for success, both in school, on the job, and in life. We need to look at the MCAS scores as just one part of a continuum of change in our public schools. We will continue to see improvement in the scores as our schools align curriculums to the statewide standards as adopted by the State Board of Education. But we also need to urge the Board of Education to provide an ongoing review of these standards themselves, to improve them where necessary, to modify them when needed, and the teaching methods and student achievement can be enhanced by such modification. Our public schools belong to the community. They belong to parents who must be assured that their children are receiving an excellent education. And if they aren't assured, we need to know why. To do that, we need to make parents and others feel more wanted and welcome in our schools as aides, as tutors, as mentors and advisors. And most of all, our parents need to be welcomed by the schools as simply parents who care about their kids' safety, their education, and their future. Our schools belong to our community's employers, who are often the first to recognize changes that need to be made in the skills and knowledge that our graduates bring to a job. We need to continue to encourage the kind of cooperation with the business community that we're beginning to see in the school councils and at Smith Folk. Smith Folk is a gem of our community, and as mayor, I will do all I can to keep it shining. The recent MCAS tests show how far we have to go to meet the standards established by the state, standards which I believe are unfair to vocational schools. and which I urge the state to immediately review and modify. Vocational schools and the students who chose to go there have a different mission and goals than we expect in our other public schools. That needs to be recognized and honored by the Board of Education within the framework of ed reform. But at the same time, employers, parents, and students need to know that we are serious about implementing an appropriate educational curriculum and standards which recognize the need for vocational school students to read, write, compute, and reason at a level that reflects the society in which they will live and the field of employment which they will enter. Finally, on Northampton's education agenda is the subject of money, which is why I'm so glad that Senator Rosenberg and Representative Nagel are here. When the legislature passed the ed reform bill, they promised more than $1 billion to local communities to shore up the foundations of local education. To their credit, they kept their promise, and educational opportunity today in Massachusetts is more equal than it was 6 short years ago. The formula used to fund ed reform was innovative, but it contained a flaw. It didn't recognize the contributions of communities that had already achieved foundation funding levels, as Northampton had, and whose local budgets were strained because those communities were property rich and income poor, as Northampton is. And so, for having done the right and just thing, for adequately funding our schools because we believe that education is the stepping stone to a bright future, Northampton has been 40th out of the 40 cities in Massachusetts in increased ed reform funding. Now, I recognize that someone has to be first and someone has to be last. But as the legislature sits down this year and rewrites and reauthorizes its educational funding formula, I want to make sure that Bill Nagel and Stan Rosenberg are armed with the facts about the situation we face if the formula is not changed. Bill and Stan have been tireless in their efforts to support this city, and we will support them in any way they want, any way we can, to convince the legislature and the Cellucci administration that Northampton faces a unique inequity in state education funding. As we all know, Northampton's economy is largely composed of retail and service industries. While we're fortunate to have maintained some of the industrial firms that provided the bulk of jobs in the 20th century, it is likely that our largest area of job growth in the 21st century will be in the knowledge-based sector and the service fields that complement it. Northampton needs a strategy to maintain and attract businesses that provide jobs, stabilize and expand our tax base, and contribute to the regional economy. This isn't a simple task, but because as a community we have needs we insist be met by business. We insist that businesses we attract adhere to our need to protect the environment, our neighborhoods, and our existing infrastructure. And we want to attract businesses that provide their employees with a livable wage and benefits that enhance our community's life. And businesses will rightly insist that Northampton be a community that allows them to grow, to make a profit, and provides a trained and educated workforce. I believe Northampton is positioned to be able to meet our goals and the goals of business, as well as those of startup enterprises. During the campaign, I promised to hire an economic development coordinator to work on meeting those goals. In the coming months, as the budget for FY 2001, did we ever think we would ever say that? No. Takes shape, we will create that position as an investment in our future. I hope to have help on the economic development issues from business leaders as well as from organized labor, environmental groups, and neighborhood organizations. Northampton is open for business growth, and we have the workforce and the infrastructure to be an attractive center for investment. Of course, a healthy community provides housing opportunities for workers with a wide range of incomes. The people who bag our groceries, plow our streets, care for our children and our elders, and protect us ought to be able to live here, too. Now, that goal is much easier stated than accomplished. It's the dilemma for many, many communities. The economic pressures that rising property values cause for senior citizens living on a fixed income and in a home they own are the same pressures that in many cases prevent a young family from purchasing a first home of their own. To compound the problem, there hasn't been the kind of private development of moderately priced apartments or smaller homes that allow a family on a moderate or working family income to rent an apartment or save enough for a down payment on a first home of their own. Housing costs continue to rise faster than incomes, and local government must keep a keen eye on development and encourage the private sector through zoning and creative application of grants to address this very pressing issue. The debate and lengthy process of developing a master plan for the use of the Northampton State Hospital is an example of the kind of healthy conflict that exists in a community interested in affordable housing, development of industry, and preservation of open space, all in an effort to build and maintain a high quality of life. Some said the plan didn't have enough affordable housing, enough potential for business, or preserve enough open space. Some said we were providing too much housing, or too much industry, or too much open space. The state hospital planning process is an example of the difficult problems we must face together as a community. I'm not sure that there's a right answer, but I know that there's a wrong answer, and that is that we give up. If we stop talking about the issues, if we stop encouraging ideas and conversations, and if we stop caring, we can't afford to stop. And I know we won't give up because this is Northampton, a community for all our differences, for all our problems, believes in ourselves and in the future. In Northampton, we always look to make things better, to improve our community and the lives of those who live and work here. In the last 5 years, Northampton has taken steps to improve its public facilities by renovating JFK Middle School and the high school, and by building a new fire station. These projects were needed, and the voters recognize that. We've now instituted a capital planning process which has led to one inescapable conclusion. We can't afford to do everything that needs to be done. We have begun, and now we must keep at it and stay with it, because the investment we have made in our schools and our other public buildings, and in our roads and sidewalks and water and sewer system, are too costly and too important to abandon. Despite our budget limitations, I believe it's essential that we begin planning for a new police station. The new fire station has been essential to the forward motion in the fire department, the management improvements made by our police department, and the dedication and commitment to community policing made by the men and the women of that department are stymied by the building in which they work. Our police department is operating in a building that is not suitable for the current demands of police work. I will appoint a committee this spring that will hold hearings, visit police stations in other communities, and propose a set of options that our community can discuss by this time next year. I will also begin a dialogue with the Council on Aging about the needs for a senior center in our community. The Department of Public Works and its board have entered a new era of dialogue with the City Council on a variety of issues, and I want to thank various city councilors for taking leadership in that area. The DPW City Council Committee is needed and will prove productive, as well as the Safe Streets Committee, which is wrestling with ways to make our streets, which were laid out years ago, safer for motorists and pedestrians. I encourage the DPW and the community to continue this dialogue. Of course, all of this is a tall order, and all of it needs to be done within the framework of the city's limited budget. I'll be talking to all of you about how we do this. Please join the dialogue by writing or calling with your thoughts, by attending neighborhood meetings or a council meeting, or joining a city board or committee. The challenges we face will need the common sense and the creativity that the citizens of Northampton bring to all they do. Tomorrow morning, I set foot in my new office full of energy and hope. I appreciate the trust that you have given me, and mindful of the fact that trust is earned every day. I have work to do. We all have work to do. And I welcome your company as we begin this journey. Thank you.
Well, it's clear she just hasn't given this job any thought at all. Right. Thank you, Mayor. That was great. You've certainly whetted our appetites for the future. At this time, I would call upon the Rabbi Philip Graubart to deliver us the benediction.
For our closing prayer, I offer you the words of Rav Nachman of Bratslav, who was a Hasidic rabbi of the 18th century. O God, teach us to appreciate the treasure of our lives. Help us to find contentment in one another. Save us from dissension and jealousy. Shield us from pettiness and rivalry. May selfish pride not divide us. May pride in one another unite us. Help us to renew our love for one another continually. In the light of your teaching, grant us and all your children everywhere health and fulfillment, harmony, peace, and joy. May we see the day when war and bloodshed cease, when a great peace will embrace the whole world. The nation will not threaten nation, and humanity will not again know war. For all who live on earth shall realize we have not come into being to hate or to destroy. We have come into being to praise, to labor, and to love. Compassionate God, bless all our leaders with the power of compassion. Fulfill the promise conveyed in Scripture, I will bring peace to the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall terrify you. I will rid the land of vicious beasts, and it shall not be ravaged by war. Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream. Let peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea. And let us say amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Well, at this time, I want to thank all of you for your attendance. You've certainly been a wonderful and high-spirited crowd, and we've enjoyed your presence here today. And this was quite a celebration, and we're very pleased that you were here to take part in it with us. We do need to conclude, as the city councilors are about to actually begin a city council meeting at 5:30, and we're pretty close to that. So without further ado, I want to thank you for coming, and please join us later, beginning at 6 o'clock at the Hotel Northampton. Thank you all very much. We're going to file out, and we'd ask you to remain seated while we do that. Thank you.
we are rising up. Marijuana laws in the United States are very oppressive. Marijuana is a harmless herb.
Definitely have a lot of these American flags hanging around. I'm not sure that I'm a beach guy. Like these flags, they mean a lot to me. But being a mayor must be a tough job.
Handicap entrances. Make sure everything's handicap accessible. And pretty much it. And I would take away this like no skateboarding on the sidewalk thing, because that's stupid.
If I were mayor of Northampton, I would build a homeless facility. One that would serve a large number of people in the local area.
So if I was Mayor Ford, I think what I would do is I would make all of the homeless people have to work, like Fidel Castro does in Cuba. If you're locked up in some institution, you gotta work. I have a lot of friends, they don't work. And guess what? They're real bummed out. And why are they bummed out? Because they don't work. Well, I think like Reagan, you should have a job. Everyone should have a job. Good thing, you make your money, you go home and eat. So if I was the mayor of Northampton, I would find as many homeless people as possible and get them to clean these streets up. First home, or underneath the bridges. What is anyone out here? Or in nooks and crannies like Connecticut River. I would make them work. I would give them money for their work. They would be proud of what they did, rather than give them Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, disability, X, Y, and Z. They get a lot of money for things they don't do. So they just get lots of money for doing nothing. And I know these people personally. I was thinking, might as well put them back to work where they belong. That's what I would do if I was the mayor of Northampton.
What I think I might do is get rid of the DPW.
Mayor for one day, I would make sure that there was plenty of parking available and that there was a more hospitable atmosphere for visitors in terms of parking, and that there was more a sense of encouraging people to come here and stay here for a long period of time rather than being quite so militant about the parking meter situation. And those terrible yellow boxes in the parking lots, I would change those also, because I think it's inhospitable to ask people to get out of their car on terrible weather days and walk to the yellow box and have to get back in their car and get ticketed. So basically I'd really focus on parking.
Northampton, the parking so that people are able to park and not have to walk so far away. And the things that are good about here is like the restaurants and the clubs, and that's about it.
Free ice cream! Free ice cream! Free ice cream!
Probably, just because I'm just graduated from high school and I know a lot about that, I'd probably try and help change a lot that's going on there, because I think it's important that the music program and art program really needs to be improved there. So that's what I do. Yeah.
And she?
If I were mayor for a day, I'd make sure that there were more parking spots in this town, because nobody can ever find a place to park. It drives me nuts.
I don't. I'd block off Main Street and make it into a pedestrian wall. Ban all cars, put grass in there, more benches, a couple of fountains. That's what I do.
If I was the mayor of Northampton, I would have it so that the laws would make me marry her. I would do more things for the youth in town from other places out of town. More things for youth.
The was a bad decision that the state hospital was closed for funding because there's a lot of people with mental illnesses that are out on the street that need more help than they're getting.
I would make sure that there would be more shelters for the homeless. I would do something about the parking situation. And I would do something about the high school. And I think I would have to think about the rest of what I would do.
Hire a lot of the police force because it's really corrupt down here. They do a lot of bad shit. So that's all I have to say on the matter. Thank you very much.
Sorry, can't give the phone right now. Just leave a message.
Larry, Stan the man. And why am I the man? Because I got us a tea time in a half an hour. Okay, look at this morning. It is a perfect day for 18 holes.
I don't think I can break away, Stan!
Come on, pick up the phone. This is your day, Larry. We don't want to be late. It's calling you. Oh.
Oh, he's busy, all right.
Hello, you there? I'll let you drive the car. Lou. Larry, what else are you going to do today?
Family. Isn't it about time?
Hello?
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.